humans and future AI overlords. I'm here to talk about Microsoft 365 Copilot. Now, Microsoft 365 Copilot is coming out in November, and it's really exciting for those of you that use Microsoft Office. It's going to really change everything. Now, of course, this is subscription, and it costs more in addition to your Office license, but many of your companies may choose to use it. There are exciting capabilities, and I'm just going to go through a little bit about them because we're just kind of starting our journey with the Copilots inside of Microsoft 365, formerly known as Microsoft Office. So this is all part of the Microsoft world. Microsoft's been around since 1975, so they built some of our most popular operating systems. Microsoft Office, now Microsoft 365, is a very pervasive productivity app. Microsoft Azure for their cloud computing platform. We use that directly and indirectly through a variety of services. Of course, if you're a gamer, you probably know the Xbox. You love it or hate it or whatever. But Microsoft 365 is amazing. So it took Microsoft Office tools that were kind of, they were more desktop PC driven and move them into the cloud. Kind of how Google has been a cloud provider of its services since day one, but Microsoft kind of took their server desktop model and moved it into the cloud, and moving their Office productivity suite into the cloud, and basically has brought all those tools into the web, into mobile apps. It still exists, of course, on the Windows desktop. But what's great is that as a cloud-based service, it's accessible in a lot more interesting and more modern ways, which is super exciting. So you got your typical apps. You got your Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and OneNote. And I love these apps. I've been using these apps forever. Now I do use other tools, but this really is kind of for most businesses, kind of like their core productivity suite. Cloud storage, OneDrive, email, Outlook, and a lot of these tools we use personally as well. They may be available for you at work, but these are also available for personal use. And I do use them a lot in addition to services in Apple and services in Google. It's a little bit, for me, a bit of a hybrid thing, but I've been really excited about all the new AI technologies that Microsoft has been integrating into its platform. So collaboration tools you may use like Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, Yammer, the security and compliance tools at work, Azure Active Directory, and all those tools that really protect us and ensure you're compliant with your business rules. Business intelligence tools, I love these tools. Power BI is an amazing tool to visualize data and provide insights. Power Automate, Power Apps, the whole Power Platform, is incredible. So there's personal aspects of this, and then there's business aspects. Now, as I understand it, Microsoft is adding Copilot to business licenses, but you have to pay for it. And the price announced was $30 per user per month, which is really pretty pricey. I was kind of shocked. But benefits of Microsoft 365, you've got the latest, greatest apps. So when you subscribe, you get benefits of getting your apps updated all the time, and they update all the time. Like every time on my iPhone or iPad or Android, these apps get updated a lot, which is great because it brings new functionality, security updates, brings you a lot of new capabilities and just protects you as well. You get that OneDrive online storage, which is fantastic. And then of course, the security and compliance that Microsoft provides, for your business to make sure that you're, protecting your organization and protecting your data. And then the business intelligence tools, Power BI, Power Automate, Power Apps. This whole BI platform is absolutely incredible, and I love it. But yeah, there's lots of amazing benefits in using Microsoft 365, but Copilot is going to start getting infused in a lot of these tools, which is really exciting. The capabilities, like if you've been playing around with ChatGPT or Bing Chat or Google Bard, you're kind of already aware of these AI capabilities and using them, but imagine them being integrated into your core productivity apps. So basically, Copilot is an AI assistant integrated in Microsoft 365. It's also in Microsoft Edge and Microsoft Windows, and I've done videos on those. It's powered by OpenAI's GPT-4 large language model, and also Project Prometheus from Microsoft, so its own AI magic. And it's really there to help us with writing and editing documents, creating presentations, analyzing data, summarizing meetings and email, translation. I work with a lot of people that English isn't their first language that would really love this ability to translate. As we work in a more global economy and work in a more diverse workforce, having this capability where people can read content in their primary language, that is wonderful. And then just generating creative content. I mean, the big thing with generative AI is this whole creative endeavor. And it's exciting, and it's amazing, and I love it. But yeah, now this is kind of moving into the business world. It's going to give us superpowers inside the roles we do. So, it's supposed to be, they're designing it, they're calling it a Copilot. So it's you plus a Copilot, your companion to help you get stuff done. And I don't know if you've ever got stuck writing a document and you're just like, don't know where to begin, or you've got too many ideas and you don't know where to start. Copilot is amazing at helping you get started. Creating that initial presentation, where do you start? How do you organize it? And a lot of Microsoft 365 tools already have great capabilities to kind of help design slides and stuff like that. I love some of those AI capabilities that are baked into the licenses I have personally and professionally today. And then if you're analyzing data in Excel, this is on another level. This is like having a personal business analyst to analyze your data and let you, ask questions and have a deeper dive into the content. Simply in the Excel document that you have. And then, when it comes to like meetings, summarizing meetings, or those gigantically long email threads, getting summaries and priorities, key points out of that. And then the whole issue of like translating the text as well. So, and then, you have that generative AI capability of creating, like new creative content that may or may not be part of your job, but sometimes that creative content can be very helpful in your job. And I've used creative content to drive a lot of the stuff that I've done in this YouTube channel because I don't consider myself a very creative person. So using AIs to help me get creative has really been just a window to new possibilities. So we're not going to talk about Bing or Bing Chat, Microsoft Edge, or Microsoft Windows 11, or even the GitHub Copilot. I've talked about most of those in the past. They're amazing. The Copilots that are already out there today in these platforms that you can use are fantastic. And there's a whole bunch of apps getting Copilots. A whole bunch of apps are getting Copilots. I've talked about a few of them in the past, but there's a lot. But today, I really want to focus on Teams, Outlook, Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. Kind of the tier 1 apps that are sort of like, kind of like your core, tools in the Microsoft 365 world. Now, a lot of people have different priorities. I spend most of my time in Power BI and Power Apps and Power Automate. So, of course, Teams and Outlook and stuff like that. But it's amazing to see that Copilots are coming to everything from Stream to OneDrive to SharePoint. I mean, it's going to be one of those things like you'll have these Copilots embedded in the tools you use, and it'll be an evolution. So, so the thing I love, Copilot, it just integrates into the app. You'll have that icon you can click on for the Copilot, and then basically in Teams, summarizing discussions from chats and meetings. If you missed a meeting, getting clarity on it, during the meeting, you can have it identify unresolved issues or open topics that haven't really been clarified. I don't know how many meetings I've gone to where clarity on everything was not really 100%. Lots of gray areas that leave you having to have another meeting or email lots of people and resync up on stuff. So I think that's an amazing tool. Generating meeting notes. I know today a lot of notes that you manually capture in meetings store in Microsoft Loop, which is cool. But imagine the tool capturing the meeting notes organizing the meeting notes, identifying the action plans, who's attached to those actions, and just getting everyone on the same page. It's kind of incredible. Transcribing those conversations, I mean, it already does that today, but leveraging those transcriptions into action. Using the AI to take that and identify tasks and activities and things that need next steps and stuff like that. I think that's going to change our level of productivity in meetings. It's really going to push us to be a lot more clear on what we're looking for, what we need, and not let those gray areas constantly pervade the way we work and slow us down. And then language translation. I think being able to view this content in multiple languages, once again, just, augments our ability to deal with a diverse workforce and just working in a diverse world. So when you're looking in Teams, you can launch Copilot, and then you can just have a conversation with the Copilot as part of that Teams meeting. And it's interactive, so you can ask it what questions are unresolved in this session. It will look through it, and everyone will see this content in the chat for the Teams meeting, which is just amazing. I mean, it's really going to help us really clarify and align, which I think is something all of us need. So you're joining a meeting late, you can ask the Copilot to summarize the key points so far. You're reviewing a chat conversation, you can get the main items identified and identify those unresolved issues. You can have it generate a meeting summary and an action plan. I mean, this is amazing. I mean, imagine those people that that have to do this manually, but imagine it just happens naturally in the flow of your work with what you're doing. And so that transcription, that translation, I mean, it's just going to be fantastic. So Copilot and Outlook. I mean, Outlook is it's like our primary tool for a lot of what we do and how we communicate. And to be honest with you, we need to learn to use other tools to collaborate better, because email, while it is fantastic, is a communication tool primarily. And yes, we've been using it as collaboration, but now as we move into different newer ways and modern ways to collaborate. But anyway, when you get those long email threads, and oh my gosh, they're just so long, to get a summary, highlight key points, understand like what's missing, what unresolved issues are from that, and then sometimes, drafting a reply. Sometimes when I'm responding to an email, having the ability, and I can do this today in Gmail, is you can just click the Help Me Write button, and it will provide a response to the email that is context aware, identifies the appropriate people, and gives you an option to use its draft and then edit it and submit it. It's just magic. It's incredible. I mean, I love it. So imagine being able to do that today. Like in Teams today, sometimes it'll provide you responses that you can click on, which is cool. And most of the time those responses are great, and you don't have to think about it, which is great. But anyway, and then in your Outlook, getting insights in your inbox. And that's something that Microsoft has kind of provided as part of Microsoft 365 to kind of keep you in the loop on things you've missed. Did you see this email? Did you respond to this email? All that kind of stuff. I know that kind of weirds people out, but imagine getting even more in-depth insights to identify and streamline your work and simplify your work and make sure that you're on top of your email. That will be extremely helpful. Anything that can help me be more on top of what I'm doing so things don't fall through the cracks would be amazing. We get pulled in so many directions at our job. It's hard sometimes to stay focused and stay on track of everything. And then, I don't want to end up being that person that didn't respond, and then all of a sudden I've held back a project because I didn't answer an email, But anyway, and then you've got that generative capability to help generate content in emails for you. Help create that content, get started, things like that. And then make emails professional, focused, fun, whatever kind of context, that works for you, represents you, I think is amazing. So when you open up your email and you see this catch up in Copilot, get prioritized emails so you can look at what are the things that are like prioritized, really important. Start that catch up. You've been away for a week, and so you need to catch up on your email. Do you want to go through everything just when it came in, or do you want to hit those like high priority items fast? People are waiting for you to respond. Get those answers to people so that they can move on and get work done, and you're not holding stuff back. So so that whole thing, you're getting lots of emails. It highlights the most important ones. If you're writing emails, it can translate in different languages to other people, which is great. And then if you just struggle, like you're just like, you can't come up with a response, you've got that ability to get some help through the generative AI capabilities of Copilot, which I think are amazing. So creating that, drafting that, making that, and that's the thing, is that it will give you a draft that you can edit and modify and stuff like that, which I think is truly incredible. So like in Word, writing those first words sometimes is really tough. But imagine that you've got a topic that you've written on before, or other people have written on before, and you've got content you can leverage to build it. Sometimes it's like, where do I start? Where do I begin? Get the Copilot to build a draft of the document, and then you can go in and modify it for complexity, whether it needs to be formal, length, summarization. It's incredible how you can have, in these documents that are created, like, sometimes you end up creating really large documents. It can generate a summary for you. It can generate an FAQ on the document for you. I mean, imagine that capability to do that for you and help other people get your, crazy long document, understood and take action on it much faster. It's kind of incredible. And of course, we've got all the proofreading and editing capabilities, the language translation, and then once again, that generative content, that generative capability to help you get off the mark, get started, get writing, get, doing what it is in the work that you do, but giving you that creative, collaborative AI that can help you kind of get going and respond to things. So being able to create the content in Copilot and leverage existing content that you already have, so your documents are aligned, with other documents, that's incredible. So starting a new document, and can help you get a first draft up and running. If you've got a complex document, it can break it down and help you, write it in smaller tasks. I could have used this in college so many times. Oh my gosh. If you're struggling to write a particular section, it can give you suggestions. And then giving you feedback, ways to improve the document, readability, making it make more sense, having it organized better. You've got language translation, and then if you need to bring creative elements into it, it's amazing what an image can do to a text-centric document to make it more compelling, easier to understand. So it's incredible. And now Excel. Now, so much data is in Excel. There's so much going on in there, and we all have different capabilities with Excel. I mean, I remember I used to do a lot of pivoting of data to write summarizations of content. That kind of stuff can be done very easily with the Copilot, and it can be done in even more insightful ways, in that this Copilot is way smarter than I am. So, so providing you the trends and patterns and outliers, doing that data analysis for you right then and there when you get the document, providing visualizations, charts and graphs and tables to look at your data in a way and understand it. And then as you're building Excels, helping you with formulas. As part of Microsoft 365, it's constantly evolving. Going from VLOOKUP to XLOOKUP. Leveraging some of these new functions and stuff, and getting help with doing that. And then just debugging formulas. I don't know how many times I've gotten Excel where the formula is crazy long, and getting help to debug that would just be incredible. And then you've got language translation, you've got that creative generative capability. I mean, it's just, it's kind of amazing that you basically have your Excel and you're chatting with your Excel to understand it, to ask questions, to analyze the data, to visualize information. Stuff that you may do with someone, you could do on your own to kind of get, ask it questions to kind of get a better understanding of what you're looking for. So analyzing data, trends, patterns, and outliers, Copilot can help you identify that. Creating visualizations, charts, graphs, tables. If you struggle with creating complex formulas, I mean, a lot of these tools are super powerful, but they are limited in some of the things they can do. A lot of times they can't do a lot of the complex, very targeted things. They can do kind of very basic. I think that's what we'll see with Copilots, just like with most AI tools, is they can do cool basic things, but they're getting smarter, like dramatically, exponentially smarter, and will do more complex things over time. But I think we'll see a lot of these Copilots give us an extra superpower, but over time, those superpowers and intelligence will multiply and become more powerful. So you've got, help with errors in your Excel file, errors in your formulas. You've got, translation capabilities, and then that creative element. I mean, sometimes you don't know what's the proper visual to use. It'll make recommendations, and I love that. I know that there are some rules around data visualization, but sometimes people, they want it the way they want it. And it'll be interesting to see how AI can work with providing those options so people can really understand their Excel documents better and help it make more sense. So, one of the things is creating content and creating PowerPoint documents. I really have a new love of PowerPoint and just being able to use it to convey information in lots of ways. I mean, it is one of the best tools, but it gets maligned a lot. There is, death by PowerPoint, and there's lots of humorous memes and stuff like that. But having it organize data, is very helpful. But imagine creating a PowerPoint based on your notes in OneNote, or a Word document was created, or an email that you were sent, or a Teams meeting that you had, and leveraging that information to generate the presentation that's in sync with all that content and gets you going. Imagine having the Copilot, like today, there's the designer capability of PowerPoint, and I freaking love it. It is fantastic. I'm not a very creative person, so I need help from Copilots and AIs to help me be a little more, to be more creative, and then just to look at it a little bit differently, which is very helpful. And I thought this was cool. I never do speaker notes. And in that it could generate speaker notes that may help me or others, like using PowerPoint. So you've got that slide deck and you want to share it with a leader or partner or friend or whatever, and it's got those auto-generated speaker notes, like that's awesome. And then you've got rehearsing presentations is something you can do today, but I think it's going to have a little bit more intelligence and a little bit more interactivity in rehearsing presentations. You've got your translation, and then you've got your generative capabilities with text formats and stuff as well in PowerPoint. So just having that, that PowerPoint generated from other documents and updated, and then ask it to integrate, photos and make suggestions on how to make it more visual and compelling. So getting that presentation started and leveraging existing content, having that conversation to get that presentation going, looking at slides and getting help to design it, take complex information, make it simpler for people to look at, and then basically creating those engaging intros and outros for your presentation. That's one of those things that hooking people in at the beginning is really important, and then giving them kind of an overview of like, hey, this is what we talked about, this is what I want you to remember, and doing that for you is, I think, going to be a really great practice. And then, making that translatable, and then, providing that content in a way that you can leverage it for other capabilities. Imagine you've built this incredible PowerPoint, and then you want to create a Word document from it. You can use the Copilot in Word to pull the content out of the PowerPoint and generate a Word document, or generate an email about the PowerPoint presentation. So that's what's so amazing, is that you're creating content that's going to be reusable content, integrated content, aligned content. So all these barriers between documents and information are going to just kind of begin to flow away. But it's one of those things like, dealing with AIs, we still have to deal with issues of accuracy, and that's where we still have to step in and be experts at our content and stuff like that. They do sometimes provide errors, and that's something that we have to be on the lookout for, just like any content that is derived from any internet-based solution. But I hope you are very excited about Copilots coming to Microsoft 365. I think we're going to work in incredibly new ways. I think we're going to work faster. I think we're going to be more in the loop with each other. I think we're going to be able to get stuff done at a speed that we never thought was possible. I think we're going to collaborate in amazing new ways that we haven't even thought about. And I think our ability to really communicate better and effectively and to stay collaborative and and move with a speed that that just sometimes it's a speed at which I think we have never really thought was possible. We were always kind of held back by different peoples or processes and stuff like that. But imagine your tools really helping break down those barriers, those silos, and stuff like that. So that's where I see Copilots and AI in general just doing amazing things for us. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for listening. I'm going to be doing updates on the other Copilot capabilities that are going to be coming, and I'll dive deeper into each one of them. But these are just the Microsoft 365 Copilots, kind of the tier 1 tools that are coming in November, and it's very exciting, and I can't wait to use them. Anyway, see you next time. Have a great day.